D-Block Express. I'm about to drop on y'all a motherfucking gem. A motherfucking diamond in the rough. Okay? This is the best author you guys will ever hear of in your life. I promise. I promise. I'm about to give you guys a gem. Okay? The book is called Diamonds and Pearl by Quan. Okay? Quan. Now look, after I drop this on you, when you go and do your research, make sure you go in order. Do not disrespect the greatest author of all time by going out of order, okay? I've been trying to tell you guys, I put up videos a long time ago about certain books, but let me show you what I'm talking about, all right? You in for a treat, and I ain't gonna spoil it all, but you in for a motherfucking treat right now. Hold on. Next vehicle. Okay. If you want to get your vocab up, right? Read books. Don't be a dummy, my nigga. If you want to get some comedy, if you want to get some drama, if you can't wait to hear the next chapter, if you know that you're getting tired and you pause this motherfucker so you don't lose your place in line, you're not going to go to sleep and just let the book play. It's not going to happen, okay? Now, you can go out and read the book, right? But I'd strongly suggest this one, not all of them, okay? You got to check out who is reading the book for you. But this particular one, you probably want to catch it on audiobooks, okay? I got it on audiobooks right now through Amazon or whatever the fuck. It's on audio. And there are certain books, I've read all these books paperback, right? But I've listened to them also. I've heard so many of them. There's another one that, let me see, how does it start out? There's another one, I might not play the other one, but there's another one just as good. This is probably my favorite book from him. But it doesn't stop, okay? There's a book out there called Hood Rat. If you want, listen to Hood Rat first and go online and go in order to listen to the other books in order. Do not go out of order, okay? Now, the guy that's reading this book, his name is Carrie Height. Carrie Height, right? If Carrie Height is reading the book for you on audio, listen to it. It's worth it. Carrie Height does not read all of his books, okay? Once again, Quan. The ill thing about Quan is he's a street dude. He's a street dude turned author. There's not a lot of them out there. Matter of fact, there's none of them out there. A lot of them went to college. You know, they had everything at home. My man was literally hustling. Go and check out some interviews and listen. My man was literally hustling. And publishers were coming up to him while he trying to get the pack off. Listen, I wouldn't do this. I'm doing this for my subscribers, but I would not do this. Like, for instance, I'll tell you a quick story, right? I used to work at this health insurance field, and you had to answer phones. There was a call center, and not everybody that I speak to, I just say, hey, go and listen to this book, because when you tell people to go listen to books, it's like medicine, right? If somebody says, oh, you're sick, take this medicine, like, I can tell you guys what medicine to take. I'm healthy year round, but whether you're gonna listen or not, that's a whole nother story. That's up to you, right? Same thing with books. If I say go read this book, it's going to be really up to you until you actually read the book or you listen, and then you're going to be fucking hooked. There's no, I don't even go and listen to other authors. Right now, I am waiting. It is August 2023. I hate putting dates on shit, but I am already waiting for January 2024 because that is when his next book arrives. I am up to date with all of his books, all of them. And all I do is go back and play them. When I have to go to work, I have to drive like 2 hours away. I just put the book on and let it flow, man. And anytime I'm in a fucked up mood, a bad mood, I can just, pull my screen down and just press play and pick up right where I left off. And the book always turns, always turns my mood around. I'm about to put niggas in wheelchairs. Oh, man. Classics. Now, I gave this book to this fine-ass piece of work. She was a cool chick, though. Fine-ass chick. She was Asian and she was American. But her Asian features stuck out more. She had the fat ass. I'm not an ass man. I'm a titty man. But obviously it made a difference if I noticed that you have a fat ass because I'm a titty man. So if you had a fat ass and I noticed it, you must have had some junk in your trunk. Right? So I gave the book to this chick. She sat right next to me in her little booth. Right? We would talk. We would, do our thing. And I finally told her about this book. Now, not this book, but I told her about Hood Rat. So when I told her about the book, and I brought the book in from the library, because sometimes, like I said, you could tell people, but they might not go do all the research. But I knew how she was. So I knew if you read this book, you're going to be hooked. Plus, of course, trying to smash. Shorty was bad. Asian and American mix. She was bad. And she was from Brooklyn, I think. She was light-skinned in the mother. She would glow walking down the fucking hallway. And I would just stare at her. She would stare at me. And the next thing you know, she ended up sitting right next to me. Great rapport. She was bad, dog. Anyway, I gave her the book, right? And I would see her. See, the thing is, when you're at the job, you got to pick up the phone every time it rings so that you can talk about health insurance and give out health insurance to whoever's on the phone. So I would see her reading the book. And when her phone rang, she would get so fucking mad. Slam her fucking bookmark down. Close the motherfucking book. Because she would turn to me and she would be like, yo, they were about to run up in this fucking spot real quick and I got a fucking phone call. She would answer the phone. Like, hello, thank you for calling, Maximus. Like, it was like, lady, you were here to do a job. But because of the book, it was like the book came first, right? I remember a new dude came in and he sat behind her. But, I see the whole aisle. We call it the aisle. I don't work there anymore. I'm just telling y'all what happened. And the dude was trying to holler at her. Because like I said, she's bad, dog. The dude behind her was trying to holler at her. Now, mind you, she's reading the book. Hood Rat at the time. And the dude's like, yo, Michelle, what about... And he was trying to ask some shit about the health insurance. And he had a question about health insurance. Right? And he was like, yo, Michelle, so what about... And she was like, what, motherfucker? Like, she wasn't mad that he was asking the question. She was mad that she had to put that bookmark down, slam the fucking book, and derail herself from what is going on page by page. I'm going to give you guys a sample, okay? But it is up to you to take it from here and keep going, right? Let's get into it, man. Watch this shit here.
Part 1. When the Levees Broke. Chapter 1. New Orleans, Louisiana, September 2005. It looks bad out there, man. Larry said, staring out the rain-slicked window of the second-floor bedroom. It was the only level of the house that hadn't been completely flooded yet or soaked to shit. Looking at the rapidly rising floodwaters, that was likely to change soon. Larry doubted if the house would last through the night before being washed away like everything else. In his 35 years of life, he had never seen anything like it. It was a storm of biblical proportions that made him think back to his grandma reading passages of the Bible about God washing sin from the earth in a merciless tide of judgment. The city he had grown to love so much was being cleansed. It was fitting that this particular hurricane had been named after a woman, Katrina, because she had come through and unleashed the wrath of a woman scorned on the city of New Orleans. Just about everyone who was able to had already fled the area, and those who couldn't scrambled for higher ground and prayed for help that was in no rush to get there. "This shit has got the white man stink all over it." Big Aaron came into the bedroom. He had a ham sandwich in one hand and a can of beer in the other. He took a huge bite of the sandwich and continued his theory. "As strong as them levees were supposed to be, how the hell are damn near all of them gonna fail at one time? If you ask me, this shit was all a government plot to get all the niggas out of New Orleans so they can turn this into a tourist trap." "I don't recall asking you about no damn conspiracy theories, but I do recall asking you to help them young boys finish loading my dope onto that truck before the water gets too high to drive out. Most of the roads have already flooded, so we only got a small window of time to get gone. Turn that sandwich loose and tend my business here." Slim barked in a heavy southern drawl. He was sitting on the bed, stuffing money into a duffel bag. It was one of several that now littered the bedroom floor. Having his money outside the safety of his vault rattled him, but there was no way they'd be able to move the massive thing. He'd acquired the name Slim as a boy, when playing the harmonica and picking the pockets of tourists in the red light district had been his means of living. As his reputation and wealth grew, so did he, currently tipping the scales at just nearly 400 pounds. Slim used memories of starvation to motivate him in his climb up the underworld ladder, devouring food and territory alike. It was whispered in some circles that Slim enjoyed the touch of a greasy cheeseburger and his money over that of a woman. "Slim, them boys got it under control," Aaron said, as if it were nothing. "What you need to be worried about is how the police is going to be looking at your ass driving down the street in a big-ass rig." Slim looked at Aaron as if he were crazy. "Nigga, what you talking? Bruh, people floating down the damn streets in bathtubs, and nobody give them a second look. Police was amongst the first to get their families out of here when the water came. Between the storm and these larcenous motherfuckers out there tripping the city, ain't got time to stunt no truck. The government is gonna wait this shit out and come clean up with whatever's left. Hell, they'll probably be happy to see us going and out of their way. Don't trip, Slim. I'll make sure they're finished. The sooner they get that dope stashed in them hidden panels, the sooner we can get out of this damn soup bowl," Larry said disgustedly. He loved his city more than any of them, but even he knew that New Orleans wouldn't be the same after Hurricane Katrina. "You mind to that shit that everybody's saying, Slim?" Aaron asked after Larry had left the room. "And what shit would that be?" Slim had resumed his counting. "About it being the end of New Orleans." "You can't put an end to something that has always been here. New Orleans might be more notorious for shit like Mardi Gras and the murder rate than anything else, but our city has a far richer history that it's given credit for. It won't be the end of New Orleans, but it'll sure as hell be the end of an era when them army dogs finally come in to clean this shit up. The dope game down here is dead, and they'll build a newer, more tourist-friendly New Orleans over its corpse." So you don't think we'll have better luck in Texas? Aaron asked. I sure hope so, because it's the best chance we got at surviving this freakish shit. An old buddy of mine is going to set us up in a spot we can operate out of until we're strong enough to stand on our own again, Slim said, zipping the last duffel bag. That shouldn't be too hard, since most of the people who bought drugs from us here are going to be scattered around Texas in those fake-ass concentration camps, Aaron joked, referring to the temporary shelters that were being erected for the evacuees. Between the poor conditions and the mingling of all them rival gangs and crews, those camps ain't shit but a powder keg waiting for somebody with the match that's going to blow it smooth to hell. Their conversation was broken up by a loud thump coming from the hallway. Aaron was about to go and investigate when Larry came into the room. He wore a worried expression on his face, and beads of sweat rolled down his forehead. Larry, please don't tell me them young boys done fucked up and let my dope get wet, Slim asked in an irritated tone. He had lost enough money in drugs due to the flood and couldn't stand another hit. That dope plenty fine where it is, boss. It's you who got the issue, a voice called from behind Larry. Two men wearing ski masks materialized in the doorway. Both of them were armed with assault rifles, an AK-47 and an M16. Slim went to reach for his gun, but the one holding the M16 was in on him. His face was hidden behind his mask, but Slim could see his dead black eyes through the holes. When he spoke again, Slim caught a glimpse of his shiny diamond-covered teeth. You can keep reaching if you got a mind to, fat man, but I'd bet this here chopper against whatever you got that fit in that drawer any day. When the gunman spoke, there was something about him that tugged at Slim's brain. Most of the children of New Orleans spoke with southern accents, but his was closer to French. Man, you nigga know who the fuck you trying to rob? Aaron barked. The second gunman, the one with the AK-47, closed the distance between them. A short, fat dude, he moved swiftly for a man his size. He raised the AK and slammed the butt into Aaron's mouth, knocking his two front teeth out. See? This is what being funny amongst serious men will get you. The diamond-toothed robber pointed to Aaron, who was curled up in the corner, holding his bloody mouth. Souple, no more games. Just go along with the program and nobody else gets hurt, Slim. Slim let out a weak chuckle. Ain't this about a bitch? Man, y'all petty motherfuckers in here pressing me over some dope when we might very well be living in our last days. And as it was written, the last shall be first. Y'all are the last of the old regime, and we're the first of the new, the diamond-toothed man said, matching Slim's tone. Now, I don't plan to keep repeating myself, so hand that shit over before I start feeling like I got something to prove. He adjusted his grip on the M16. All right, man, just be easy with them guns. Slim used his foot to push one of the duffel bags over. Keeping his M16 trained on Slim, the man with the diamond-covered teeth made a quick check of the bag. He looked back at his partner and nodded in approval before scooping up the bag and slinging it over his shoulder. Aye, y'all got what you came for, so you can split, Slim continued. Not just yet. The fat gunman with the AK moved over to Slim. His eyes were on the gaudy diamond pinky ring on Slim's left hand. Run that too. Man, this old ring ain't worth nothing to nobody but me. It was a gift from my wife. I lost her last year, and this is how I keep her close to me, Slim said sincerely. The diamond-toothed man saw the situation about to take a turn in the wrong direction, so he intervened. Fat man, my own grief already heavier than my shoulders can take. I don't need to add yours to it, so keep the ring. All they wanted was to get what they'd come for, but his partner had other ideas. Fuck that! We came for everything! The fat robber insisted. Behind his mask, his eyes flashed a hatred toward Slim that few understood. For his partner, it was business, but for him, it was personal. Kid, why don't y'all just get the fuck out of here before somebody gets hurt? Larry said in an easy tone. He knew he'd fucked up by letting the masked men get the drop on him, and he was trying to make up for it by getting to his gun, which was hidden under the newspaper he'd been reading. Fuck that! The fat robber snapped. Y'all niggas ain't the kings of the hill no more, so don't tell me what to do. Kings of the hill? Young boy, in case you ain't noticed, the hill is turning into a damn mudslide, Slim said with a chuckle. You laughing at me? The fat robber turned to Slim, eyes blazing. Before his partner could stop him, he clubbed Slim in the head with his machine gun, knocking him off the bed and onto the floor. Boy, you lost your senses? The diamond-toothed robber shoved the fat one away from Slim. He'd seen his partner in his rages before and wanted to prevent what he knew would happen if he let it go too far. Check your motherfucking feelings and stay focused on this paper. I wouldn't have cracked him if he hadn't been laughing at me, the fat robber argued. Wasn't nobody laughing at you. I was just trying to ease the tension a little. Slim hauled himself back onto the bed. His lip was bleeding and his jaw felt cracked, but the blow had also helped to jog his memory. You know, I done met plenty of cats in my day weren't big on humor, but there's only one who comes to mind who gets to crying like a bitch when he thinks he's being laughed at. What's up, John boy? Greasy little nigger, Aaron hissed. When he spoke, it made a funny whistling sound, because he was now missing his front teeth. They had known John Boy since he was a fat little kid stealing snacks out of the corner store. And if that's John Boy, I'm guessing you're diamonds. Slim addressed the diamond-toothed robber as the pieces began falling into place. This fat piece of shit ain't got the brains or the balls to walk into this one without somebody putting a battery in him. Since all the cards on the table, I guess ain't no need for these. Diamonds pulled his mask off and shook his dreads loose from the stocking cap that'd been holding them down. His face was smooth and golden, with high cheekbones and slanted eyes. Diamonds had always been a hit with the ladies, but his heart belonged to the streets. After all I've done for your little asses, this is how you come at me? Slim was genuinely offended. Monty, Diamonds accused. Slim, feed your lies to someone who don't have eyes and ears, because ain't no sane man gonna believe a lunatic. You sat back and watched while we fought like dogs for the scraps that fell off your plate. How long you think you can deny hungry dogs proper meals before they learn to hunt on their own? He hoisted the duffel bag full of Slim's cash for emphasis. You think y'all can come in here and take our shit like we soft? Larry snapped, not being able to hold his tongue with the disrespectful youth. Funny, because that's exactly what was happening, Diamonds said sarcastically. Slim shook his head. You know, from the first time I seen you and your brother crawl up out of the swamp and into the city, I knew you were going to be trouble. I tried to nurture you little niggas and teach you about loyalty and how to get paper. But I should have cut you down like the dogs you were. And therein lies the problem, fat man. See a young nigga from the mud and don't see nothing but a servant. Somebody to do the shit you ain't got the balls to do on your own. All risks and no reward. If you had it your way, I'd have been eaten out of your hand until the end of my days. But this is not to be. I ain't gonna die no soldier, bruh. I gots to be the king or nothing. Bonsoir, fat man.
Now look, what happens next? My damn. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Go get the motherfucking book. I told you want to probably do it on audio, because Kerry Heights reading it. Not to mention, this is a fucking classic. And there's mad of them out there. Once you listen to one of these books, you're not really gonna care. As long as it's a Quan book, you don't give a fuck what's going on. You know it's gonna be a classic. Once you run into Animal, once you run into Hood Rat, once you run into these books, wow. But go in order, okay? Don't just, you see Animal, don't jump in and read Animal right away. You gotta go in order, okay? Because you're gonna fuck it up for down the line for everything to make sense. This one is the first of many. Well, it's the first of, well, this one is the first book. But there's you gotta go in order if you're gonna listen to Diamonds and Pearl, okay? And you can go online and just type in Quan Books or Quan Foy, Foye, in order. And it'll show you exactly when the books came out and when to read them. Go listen to Gangsta. What's her name? I don't know. Does she have any kids? I don't know. Classic shit, man. Classics. I only bring the classics to you. When it comes to... Hold up, let me log in real quick. When it comes to... Yeah. When it comes to movies, when it comes to... Why don't this shit work, yo? When it comes to movies, when it comes to music, and when it comes to books and sports, especially boxing, I don't even care about the best. And once again, I'm showing y'all proof. Quan is the best right now. Crawford is the best right now. Floyd was the best at one point. I only care about the best. Who is the best? Haney is the best right now. Right? Until I keep looking to see, is there someone else better? Right now, there's nobody better than Quan. Roll something. Spark something. Welcome aboard the D Block Express. And I'm out this bitch.